What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video, another day, another dollar with your boy. And I'm gonna try to make this one a quick video. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. The market today did exactly what we wanted to, in a sense of, sellers being in control. However, price action was not the way we wanted. We opened the day with a pretty large gap to the downside. So safe to say that price probe from 44.64 and from 15,223.25 in the NASDAQ and in ES were both accepted. We pushed down lower pretty good today. Got a little bit of an inventory adjustment, not much of one, and then just kind of grinded down all day long. All day today was kind of a lackluster type of day. Honestly, I would have much rather seen this market open up below or inside of the previous day's range, but below the price probe here at 44.6450, because if we would have taken out today's low, we could have gotten a much larger move to the downside, in my opinion. However, you take what you can get, and today I called a couple points on the downside. I got hurt a little bit on a few longs that took later in the evening, but for the most part, shorted NASDAQ really well, and then I shorted ES pretty well as well. We had an afternoon rally high in ES, pretty good afternoon rally high in ES. Not so much in NASDAQ, as they were pretty much rotational for the most part, and then ended up finally going trend late in the evening, kind of probing to the downside. So a little bit of a bell-shaped curve for them, and then this extension to the downside for the NASDAQ. Now for us on the ES, we had a really good afternoon rally high opportunity here, and where I got involved on the short side was once we set that afternoon rally high in, and then we took out eyes low right here. That's where I got involved. I shorted just below 4,400. I think it was 44.0125. I got it written down. 44.0125 was the trade I took a 5 lot there, and the idea was to at least push down lower and test around the lows, right? I wasn't looking to get to the lows. I was definitely looking to test near the lows. So I was looking to take profit around 96 or 95 on the downside. So, roughly 5 points on a 5 lot, 15 points total, right? It's what we were looking for. I took the same thing in the NASDAQ as well. Once we took out that low at 74.50, I was short in J period. I was short around, what did I get here? Let me look. Short 69.75. So I was short 69.75. And in NASDAQ, I was a little bit more confident about going and getting to the lows, because they tend to push rather quickly. So I was short 69.75. And then as we got near the low, value low, which is where I was targeting around 30, is where I got out of that trade. So right around here is where I got out of the trade. Actually, in the next time frame over, we hit that value low of 30, and I got out of the trade. So really good short in NASDAQ, really good short in ES. I didn't participate in majority of the session earlier on. I was waiting for the afternoon rally high setup. And really what it was, once we got below that 144 right here in ES, and then same thing in NASDAQ, once we got below the 144 simple moving average right here, I was more or less looking to come back into this highlighted range, right? All these buyers up here on that rally, all these buyers up here were trapped. So all that inventory that was getting long up here, as well as anybody that was short covering, that inventory fell off as far as, bids, and then that inventory corrected lower to the lower area of the value, right? So that same thing here. As soon as we got below, looked for this thing to rotate. So I actually got short around VWAP in NASDAQ to come down and get below 144. So I was definitely innovating a little bit there because we were one time framing up, and then we took out the low in NASDAQ. So, but the same idea was to come down to this area where, buyers were trapped up here, sellers were trapped down here. So we were just looking to get back into that area and see how we reacted there. And then this is where I got in trouble a little bit on the ES, as I was very small size, about a 1 to 2 lot. I was long at 90 and 89, looking to rotate back up to the point of control, which at the time was around 4,400 or 4401, excuse me. and I was looking to get back to 4,400 to get 9 wide point of control, right? Just because we had been rather rotational. We had a wide point of control above. I was looking to fade the extreme, right? So I was looking to buy here and sell here, right? So usually in a market where we're in like balance, like we were these last several days, you can get that type of trade, right? You faded the extreme here to rotate up higher. You can get that type of trade, but because we've broken out of balance now, and you got to take market context into the equation, is, we had a gap, value was lower, afternoon rally high, sellers were in control, we just set a new low in the day. Chances are we're probably going to continue to push down lower. That's what the market's doing and currently doing as I speak. So I definitely should have looked for the short, especially once we pushed up back into that supply area and or demand area and seen that we had rejected. Should have got out of that short for at least a point gain and then reshorted. Now I did get back involved in the short side in L period. I shorted 86, came down. I took it off for a 3-point gain, gained back some of that money. And then I shorted again in M period around 82 and 81 to push down lower. And I got out of those trades. Overall, ended up pretty good on the day. Gained back some of the loss from earlier. So I think I'm right at break even or just in the positive for the week, which is good. We definitely don't want to lose money on the week. So with that being said, I'm just going to leave it at that. The market is one time framing down. Okay. Market is one time framing down. Right. We have a gap above in ES. Same thing in NQ. Tomorrow, what do we do is a major question. Do we continue to get some downside continuation as these markets are in liquidation mode? Now let's go ahead and look at the larger time frame. I'm not going to mark any destinations for you guys on the 30-minute chart today. Hopefully you guys understand and know how. If you would like me to make another video on destinations and how to mark them, just leave me a comment in the section down below. All right, so another significant thing that has happened today is for SPY, we are at our monthly balance low, and so far we've taken it out. So far we've taken out our monthly balance low in SPY. Okay, SPY 433.01 was our monthly balance low. We've taken that out now. We've taken it out by $2. So monthly, tomorrow, if the monthly does not close above 43 or 433.01, the monthly will be down. All right, and your next downside destination for the monthly will be 416.79. Weekly, okay, this is what the weekly looks like coming out of that monthly balance. Right, getting a nice little extension there. Weekly, though, on the other hand, weekly is out of balance to the downside. Pretty good, actually. Weekly is one time framing down. Your next destination on the weekly is this low here at 431.19. That is your next downside destination from a weekly standpoint. 431.19 in the SPY. So weekly, one time framing down. If you took the double inside week down scenario, if you shorted at 442, right, you are in the money really, really good. And I wouldn't be covering any. If I'm short, I'm not covering until we at least get back to 420. Okay, that would be where I'd look to start covering around is 420. So this market could still have some really good move to the downside. Okay, daily, same thing on the daily. Daily is one time framing down. We've been one time framing down now 1, 2, 3 days in a row. We now have a continuation from yesterday's volatile situation. Continuation to the downside, and now an upside gap for the SPY. Okay, so we have today's high at 435.97. We get above that tomorrow, we'll put the daily back into a balance, and you'll look to fill that gap at yesterday's low of 438.43. That is the close. So today's low is 431.23. We take that out. Downside continuation continues. 200-day moving average for SPY is right around 417. So like I said, if I'm short at 42, right? If I'm short 442, I'm targeting 420, which is just above the 200-day moving average. Volume, really good volume for today, above average. We're sitting at a 94 million for the SPY today. really good volume on the downside. So keep an eye out for the continuation to the downside. Now let's look at the triple Qs. Triple Qs have not quite reached their monthly balance low. Okay, we haven't quite reached that monthly balance low. We still got a little bit to go in the monthly for the triple Qs. 354.71. So they got about $3 more to the downside to break out of balance on the monthly. Weekly time frame. Okay, weekly is one time framing down. Weekly broke out of balance, double inside week to the downside, broke out of balance to the downside. Your next weekly target is going to be 451.71. So basically the monthly balance low, right? Monthly balance low is the target for the weekly and for the monthly. If we get that, we will break out to the downside on the monthly, and this market can really start to liquidate pretty good. And daily, same scenario. Broke out of balance to the downside 3 days in a row now. 1, 2, 3. Gap to the upside. High of day 361.60 in the Qs, and then low of day 357.69. Tomorrow, if we take out the daily low, we will continue to one time frame down. However, the Qs 200-day moving average is much lower, down at 328.08. Okay, so you got about a $30 move to the downside before the triple Qs begin to get anywhere near their 200-day moving average. So are they just going to get near their monthly balance low and kind of back off a little bit? That's a possibility, right? We can get near 354.71 and hold it for the NASDAQ, right? Just because the ES has broken out of balance to the downside does not mean the NASDAQ has to. So they get here and hold it and then just rotate back up higher. So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, keep your hard hats on. Hopefully you had a good day today. One more thing, volume today in Qs were pretty good, 66 million, so above average. But like I said, once again, hope you all have a wonderful day. If you made money today, awesome. If not, that's okay. Tomorrow's another day, and we'll look to get back after it. Catch you guys in the next one. See ya.